the element, waiting to strike like snakes.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. The video you guys are seeing in the background is a quick mock-up someone in the community made, and I just thought this is so interesting. Once we do finally get Tekken 8 trailer, this is how it will start, with the pink logo, and I wonder if it will still be Jin and Kazuya punching each other. Will they just abandon that, or will they recreate it? I think it's very interesting, and this little 2-second snippet gives us an idea of what the official version will look like. Very cool. I just wanted to note that. But we have a lot of things to discuss in this video. This is going to be kind of a news roundup of sorts, many different topics from all across the internet. Some things in here about Street Fighter, some things in here about Mortal Kombat as well, but most of it is going to be about Tekken and Tekken 8. The first thing, Ed Boon is sort of flexing on Twitter. He tweets out, HBO Max first week viewership number proves Mortal Kombat fans are the very best. And it's a 10-second video. I just took a screenshot of it. And what you have here is the first week viewership for basically HBO Max's biggest movies. Mortal Kombat at 4.3 million, The Batman 4.1 million, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Matrix, Dune, Zack Snyder. Now, this is kind of interesting because this is not talking about the animated series. This is talking about the live action Mortal Kombat film, which a lot of people were hating on. I don't know why the fighting game community was hating on this movie so much. I enjoyed it. You have to set your expectations at a reasonable level. When this movie was announced, I'm not expecting this to be the next Godfather. I'm not expecting this to be the greatest movie. I'm just expecting this to have a few jokes, some good action, and a decent story. That's what it did. That's what I was expecting. But I don't really know why Mortal Kombat would be all the way at the top. But this just shows the sort of star power of Mortal Kombat, especially to beat out the Batman. You can argue that when Mortal Kombat came out, this was when we were deeper into the pandemic, and I don't think theaters was open at that time. If the Batman released in that same environment, it probably would have been bigger. But congrats to Mortal Kombat. Let's move on. We have a tweet here from JDCR, 2,445 likes. It's a simple question. When does Tekken 8 come out? I don't know why I get so excited when I see people like popular community members say this. Tendo said it. There was a few other people whose tweets I talked about, but every time I just get excited because this is just more pressure on the developers to say something, to do something. I'm kind of nervous too about Tekken 8 because we can talk about how the game is going to play and feel and all these things, characters, DLC, but once it actually gets here, first off, we're going to have to learn so much about it. And then also, I guarantee there's going to be so many people comparing it to Tekken 7. Oh, I don't like this because it's not like Tekken 7. Or I like this because it does it better than Tekken 7. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Tekken 7 has built up the fan base to a very, very large amount. And right now the community is like rabid dogs, rabid animals. We're like starving for content. And then once we actually get that content, we're going to tear it apart. And the outcome of that, it may not be nice, but Tekken Gamer, there's been a lot of discussion around this topic lately. Which would you rather have after Tekken 7 and why? Let's hear it. 65.9% says Tekken 8. Very, very good. Thank you. Tekken Tag Tournament 3 at 18.4%. Tekken Cross Street Fighter at 15.7%. 955 votes on this. Even though it's taking some time, we're definitely progressing in what we want, how we want it, and we're getting better. Well, of course we are. We literally have so much time to figure these things out. The next thing that I want to talk about, this is more so a meme. Yoshimitsu players, every time they are minus, trying not to flash. This, you guys don't know how true this is. You guys don't understand. Unless you're a Yoshimitsu player, you don't understand how difficult it is sometimes to not flash. There's some players who will bait the flash out and destroy you. And when you're playing against those players, it's very difficult not to flash. I love this picture. I really love it. This is a good meme. Because it's like, the flash is very powerful, but once you become predictable, you're dead. That's something that I've been talking about on the channel quite a bit lately. People pick powerful characters and then they become predictable. It's kind of the same thing with Yoshimitsu. The flash and some of his unblockables can be predictable to a certain extent, and people will definitely destroy you for doing so. But let's move on. The next topic that I want to talk about, this goes back to a video that I did in the past where I was just talking about all of the examples and possible examples of Tekken and SoulCalibur sharing a universe. That video is just a video that I've wanted to do for a while because one, I wanted to learn all the things for myself, and two, I thought it would be something cool to talk about. And a lot of you guys enjoyed that video. The likes was really high, and then the comments was really cool. One of the comments on here though, I disagree with. Sort of towards the end of the video, I was talking about descendants. This is a very big topic when you're talking about Tekken and SoulCalibur. Is this character a descendant of that character? Are these two characters related? And you know, people like to draw strings between Tekken roster and SoulCalibur roster. And I kind of disagree with that to a certain extent. I think there could be maybe one or two descendants, like Josie is a Talman, but I don't think there should be too much more. Like the comment says, are those characters descendants and ancestors of each other? The comparisons between Tekken and SoulCalibur characters, and then what they do is they list out about 10 comparisons, and you could just see like all of the, it's just too much. I feel like I said, Talman, Josie, fine. Yoshimitsu and Yoshimitsu, fine. But all of these other characters, I feel like that's sort of taken away from their individual stories. To say all of these characters are descendants, and like Taki and Kunimitsu. I think Taki and Kunimitsu are both very cool and very unique characters. Yes, they both may be ninjas and all that, but you don't have to link these characters together just for them to be like to try and improve them. They can stand on their own. This is something that Star Wars do all the time.
The final battle of the Skywalker trilogy. Palpatine versus Palpatine, with the last Skywalker sent straight to hell.
Star Wars, they always try to make someone somebody. When they were doing the sequel trilogy, everyone was wondering, who is Rey? What is Rey?
Rey Skywalker.
Rey bullshitter is who you are. Girl, you ain't a Skywalker. You're a Palpatine. And even if Rey simply means to continue the Skywalker legacy or whatever, then why did she come to Tatooine to literally bury the remnants of the Skywalker legacy? And no less where Luke's family was killed. Woman, what are you doing? If they absolutely had to pull this bullshit, it should have been Rey Solo.
And I think that's a bad way to go about it. I think there are some exceptions that would be cool, but to tie like martial law to Maxi, no. The next thing that I have here to talk about, Fortnite is getting another update. You have Blanca and you have Sakura. They're both releasing April 27th. I've always been a fan of Blanca, and to see him getting a skin, that's really cool. The next thing, this one I just thought this was kind of interesting. We'll read it and then I'll break it down. I don't know how about you guys, but I have a feeling that Gigi Akutami played Tekken. Now down below on the left side you have a picture of Devil Jin. You can see the tattoos, you can see the red eyes, you can see the tattoos on the chest as well. On the right side you have I don't know who this anime character is. If you know, definitely comment down below, but you can see the tattoos on the face, definitely on the forehead is pretty similar, and then also on the chest is really similar as well. But definitely is drawing inspiration from Tekken. And this is why I always said, why doesn't Tekken and Street Fighter dip into that anime catalog? We always talk about guest characters, and Mortal Kombat is doing the best right now because they have a lot of movies that they're pulling from. but why doesn't Tekken pull from anime? There's so many cool characters that they can get into the game, and it makes me excited to see what they're going to do in Tekken 8, because I think in Tekken 8 they're going to come out swinging. A lot of people kind of dislike the guest characters of Tekken 7, and I feel like as a result they're going to try even harder for Tekken 8, right? The next images, that's all, because there's more comparisons here. You have Panda being compared to another panda within the show. It also has the same bracelets, and the bear does Kung Fu. It's like, how much more of a, I don't want to say ripoff, because maybe Harada gave the okay for this, because we know Harada done that in the past. There's animes where the characters will be talking and then they will be playing a game, and then the camera will flip around and they're playing Tekken. Right? Harada's given the okay many times before, so maybe he did as well here. But the next one under, it says, when I saw Kokochi from Jujutsu Kaisen, the first thing that came to my head was Yoshi from Tekken. You can see this sort of like rock-like creature being compared to Yoshimitsu. Now the head structure is a little bit of the same, but I bet if you zoom out to the body it probably would look different. But I don't know. I just thought this was interesting. Also compare Nina and Anna to these characters, but this is where I feel like it starts to get a little bit fuzzy. The panda and the devil chin, definitely. Yoshimitsu and these other characters, questionable. The next thing that I want to talk about is Twitter. Once again, Jeff posts to Twitter and says, seeing this and choosing to believe that Tekken 8 is coming soon. And the picture is trending in the United States is martial law, 4,300 tweets. And then sports trending is Asuka, 31,300 tweets. Now, when I seen this, I was like, why is martial law and Asuka trending? But when I did some research, I quickly discovered that it was not the martial law of Tekken. It was something that had to do with like CNN and like Republicans and Democrats and all that political stuff. And then the second thing, the Asuka trending, was also not related to Tekken. It was about the wrestler, the WWE wrestler, Asuka. But I think it is interesting how both of them are side by side like that, and they're both Tekken characters. It's kind of like the Cosmos is like playing games. The Cosmos is like teasing us. It knows we're starving for content. Talking about not getting an update from Bandai Namco, we actually got a tweet from Bandai Namco UK. It says, per week, how many hours do you spend playing video games? 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 15 plus. 1,519 votes on this. Now, I would have predicted that this would have been super high like this, because here's the thing. If you're voting on a Bandai Namco poll on Twitter, you have to be very heavily invested into video games. The final thing that I want to talk about, this is another poll from Tekken Gamer. It says, each Tuesday we're going to go through the Tekken 7 roster and see what characters you want to return in next in Tekken. Last week was 62.1% no for Akuma. We don't know how many people voted on this poll, but on this one, the Geese Howard is 223. I think some of these are going to be interesting to see. Of course, the 2D characters, you expect everyone to say no. But once we get a little bit deeper into the roster, we start hitting characters like Gigas, Claudio, Katarina, Master Raven, Yoshimitsu, Brian Fury, Steve Fox. Once we get deep into the roster, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. And at the end of this, once they get through all 51 characters, that's 51 weeks, I hope they put up a graph of all of it, so we can really see what the community voted for overall, because that's a lot. 51 weeks, who knows how long that will go on for, right? The final thing that I want to talk about, I can't remember who made this. It was some Guilty Gear Strive content creator. But what I wanted to talk about was Testament being in B+. Now, what's interesting about this, a lot of people in the Tekken community, they defend broken pay-to-win DLC by saying that it's necessary for these characters to be powerful. Nobody is going to be hyped or excited about a weak character. Now, if you look at this, Testament is bottom 5 in the game. Now, I don't know about her popularity in terms of usage, but I know in terms of marketing, this character was astounding. Definitely, this character was trending. This is just another example of they do not have to make these characters powerful for people to buy them, for people to like them. There's other ways to go about it, and I'm just going to keep finding examples of why the community should not be saying that, should not be defending pay-to-win DLC. I really think it's not okay, and the only way Tekken 8 is going to be better is if we can get all of these people who are believing this to stop, to realize that that's not the case. These characters do not need to be broken pay to win the most powerful character in the roster for people to like them. It's just not true. The final thing, is Luke a problem in Street Fighter V now? Luke is the same thing as Fahkumram. I did a whole video talking about it. Daigo said the DLC is so powerful it's boring, and that's kind of what the Tekken community is repeating. You talk about Fahkumram, a lot of people would say he's boring. On this poll, you have 162 votes. Yes, and he needs to be nerfed. 74 votes, 45%. Luke is strong but not overpowered. That's 32%, 53 votes. I'm not sure yet, 21 votes, 13%. And then Luke is not a problem, 14 votes, 8.6%. I wonder what a poll like this will look like if you did Fahkumram, if you did Lita, if you did Yoshimitsu. Sometimes I wish I was able to make a poll. When I talk about these topics in videos, I wish I was able to like attach a poll or something to it so I could hear what you guys have to say. You guys can vote on what you think is right. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.